All right, so in this video, I'm going to go over what I expect from you guys for your search log, which is your midterm. Now, this is an example from last semester from a student who got almost 100% on this assignment, which is why I'm using it as my example. He gave me permission to use this, but I did remove his name so that nobody is compromising their identity here. But the first thing I want to point out is at the top of your search log, you're supposed to have a research question. This is worth 10 points. I believe I made it worth 10 points. If your research question has been approved, you can just copy and paste it and you should get the 10 points right then and there. If your research question has not been approved, you may get partial credit. However, one of the purposes for me approving your research topic was to make sure that it was well focused and used language that was that could be used to build your search, essentially. So as long as you have an approved topic, that's easy points. Now, as we go through here, there are 4 columns. The search statement column is what we practiced with the Boolean searching. So you see, he starts off with a relatively simple Boolean search, cigarettes and marketing. And he uses a couple different strategies through this search statement. He goes to cigarette and advertisements, which is a synonym substitution strategy. Then in fact, I'm going to actually come back to this. Each line should be one search, first of all. So in his first search, he did cigarettes and marketing. He used the iSearch interface, which is the one on the home screen of the IUP libraries. He decided to limit it to full text. And these are the observations he made. Now, this notes column is where the bulk of your points are coming from. Notes and search statement are the 2 biggest factors here. And what I'm grading in the notes column, I want you to do 2 things. Make some observations about your search results, and then make some kind of decision about how you will continue your search. So you can see here he's observing there were a lot of results even after the full text limit, and most of the articles that were brought up dealt with e-cigarettes. So he's noticing here, you notice his original question didn't deal with e-cigarettes, but he's noticing that there were a lot of articles that do deal with e-cigarettes. And he says, I should probably add a keyword to describe an actual cigarette. Now, to be perfectly honest, that's a great observation. There's not really another way to describe an actual cigarette. What he could have done is maybe say not electronic or not e-cigarettes, which he didn't do, but that was okay. But that's one way he could have remedied this section right here. In the next search, he decided to switch to an EBSCO database. There is a slight difference between the all databases through EBSCO and the IUP libraries iSearch, and that difference is that this includes the book catalog, while this one does not include the book catalog. That's really the only difference. He also decided to change his limiters to 15 years and academic journals. And as he goes through here, there are too many results, and still they are focused on electronic cigarettes more than a regular smoking cigarette. Even after the limiters, I'll need to define cigarettes. So it seems like he was struggling to define cigarettes, but that's okay. The trial and error is an essential part of research. That's why I'm having you guys do this notes column, because I want to see your thought process as you go through your research. The basic requirements that I want you to be aware of as well. I am looking for you to use at least 3 different databases. iSearch versus all EBSCO host. He used one called Education Source. Emerald is another option. I do allow you to use Google Scholar, but not Google. Google, while it is an index of what's available on the web, for academic research, you should really be using Google Scholar rather than Google. So this is an acceptable database, but again, you have to have at least 3 of these, okay? And you have to have one entered for every line. I want to see a database on every single line. Each one of these is worth 1 point. All right. I also want to see at least 5 different limiters across your entire search. So full text, that's great. Limiting to 15 years. I did have a few students who did this last semester. If you just change the year limit from 15 years to 10 years to 5 years, that's still only one limit. You're still only using the date limiter when you do this. I want to see you use different limiters, such as academic journals is different than scholarly journals, okay? Scholarly journals refer to journals that have gone through a peer review process. Academic journals refers to anything that is academic in nature, but it does not necessarily have to go through the peer review process. So that's the difference between those two limiters. Here he used a filter option to filter only to keywords instead of doing like all text. Here he used a subject limiter, which I covered in the limiting videos. Publisher limiter, he limited to the location. So there's a lot of different, I want to see you guys testing out these limiters and seeing how they affect your search results. And finally, I would really like to see your searches get more advanced. Down here, you'll see some of his search statements include parentheses. I would love to see you guys, like he could have used quotation marks around smoking tobacco instead of just leaving it like this. I would love to see you guys use as many advanced search techniques as possible in your Boolean search statements. If I see sentences here, if I see words like the, of, when, effect, about, none of those are keywords. Those are all natural language words that don't really make sense in a database search. So you will lose points for that. All right. You should have 10 searches overall. Please leave the numbers in because whenever I grade these, I will refer to search 1, search 2, search 3, etc. All right. If you have any questions about this, please let me know.